Hello everyone, how are you? We're going to go to grid journey number 5, and to find that lesson you will go down to where it says write-ups, grid journey, and lesson 5. So we're talking about, we've done square grids, we've done ribbons, we've done wavy grids, we've done circles, and now we're going to talk about the dot grid. A dot grid is basically just substituting, instead of doing lines, we're just going to do the corners, so we're making dots. And then you can replace those dots with anything else. You can make circles, small circles, big circles. You can make squares, you can make diamond shapes, you can make spirals, any shape that you can think of to replace that dot with. You can replace it with a rice shape, you can replace it with a heart. Possibilities are endless. And here are some samples of patterns that use a dot grid. And then it's showing, let's see, what's this? There's only, let's see. Are you wondering what happens to a grid pattern when applied to a dot grid instead? There's only one way to find out. Take your practice sheet and play with it. Now, I did not print out these practice sheets, but she's provided some practice sheets that have just dots, small dots, big dots, so you can play with it. I've just taken the grid sheet that she gave us from before. This one. Let me turn on my light. Remember this grid sheet that we were given? I just took this grid sheet and I've created a dot grid on here. So I drew one regular grid. What I did was I put this paper right over the top of this one, and I just traced. And do you see how you can see the grid through there? What I did was at each corner, I just placed a little dot. So I created myself some dot grids. So I already have them. You didn't have to watch me make a dot grid. And then I just traced over this one, because what I want to do is I want to put down a pattern, and then I want to play with different things on the dot grid with that same pattern. So I'm going to use that same Amy base that we've been using this whole time for the dot lessons. You can use whatever base pattern you've been drawn to. You don't have to follow this one, but this is what I'm going to do. And I am actually going to do this one this time. So I'm going to use the Amy base, turning it 90 degrees each time around in a circle, so it makes this sort of flowery pattern with a line across. Okay, so I'm going to draw it here so we can see how it looks like on a regular grid, and then I'm going to do it on the dot grids with different dots in the middle, so we can see how it changes as we change what we do here. So we're going to do this one, and then we're going to turn it, and we're going to turn it, and turn, just like that. So that's what this pattern is going to look like. Just a simple pattern to play. You can do it with any pattern though. You don't have to do it just with this simple pattern. You can do a more complicated pattern. Absolutely 100% go for it. But as a lesson, it's much easier for me and for you guys to follow along if I use a simple pattern and use the same pattern in all my lessons. Okay, so that's what Amy base on a regular grid looks like. Amy base on a regular grid, 90 degrees. Turn 90 degrees, right? Just turn it, turn it, turn it, turn it. This is the base pattern here. Oh, I should do it in a square. No, that didn't work. Don't look at that. That's the base pattern right there. That's Amy base. And there it is. Turn 90 degrees. Do, 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 do. Looks like that on a regular grid. Now let's do it on a dot grid over here. This way. Okay, so now that's what it looks like on a dot grid. I'm going to erase my dots so you don't see any of them in those spots where we didn't use the dot. Okay, so that's what it looks like on a dot grid. So once you get rid of those lines, it looks different. Okay, so now I'm going to do it with a circle. Oops. What are the different options she's kind of shown? We're going to do circle, square, and maybe diamond. And I'm going to go ahead and put the circles where those dots are, even the ones we're not going to use, because that'll be something different also. So let's do circles around those dots. Okay, and now it's going to be that way, this way, this way, this way, that way. Did I do that right? One, two, three, four, five. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, I'm missing a row of dots. That's why it didn't look right. There we go. Now, you could leave it like that, or you could add these teardroppy shapes in here as well. But this matches that, so I'm going to leave it. Let's see how totally different that looks. It looks different from that. It looks different from that. It looks different from that. And now let's try one with squares. Two, 3, 4, and 5. Make sure I've got the right number of rows here, since I goofed up last time. Okay, so now I'm going to go corner to corner here. And here. And here. Like that. Right? That's the pattern. Okay, so now that one looks like that. It looks similar to that, but different. Let's do diamonds and see what diamonds do. Let's do like a curvy diamond. I don't know what this is going to do. But what the heck? One, two, three, two more rows. One more row. Okay. There's that. And then we're going to go right in the middle here. And then that one, this one, and this one. Like that. See how each of those looks so different just by changing what type of grid base that you are using? They're all the exact same pattern. I think that's really interesting how that happens and how you can play with different sizes and shapes and things. Let me turn it this way so that that's closer to the edge of the camera. I want you guys to see that, how it's all different. Anyways, these are all Amy base. Dot grid. Different dot shapes. That's what that is. I'm just trying to figure out where might be an interesting thumbnail, because I use that last whatever I do as a thumbnail. That would be good, right, like that. All right, so that's the lesson. Practice with making different dot grids, enjoying yourself. You can then come back and erase your pencil dots because you don't need those. You can then embellish each of your creations differently by adding auras, adding you can add lines in there, you could add auras, you could put this pattern back in there. You could do all sorts of things. The possibilities are actually just endless. It's only stopped by your imagination. I didn't do spirals. Could have done spirals. That would have looked different too. They're just never ending. So you guys have fun. practice, play, find which base pattern you like, and give it a go. You don't have to use Amy. Use something else. That's cool. Use one of these. Remember when we did these? Based on that T shape? You know, and then instead of making it a regular grid, put a dot grid. That would be fun too. They're all fun. So I'm going to leave you with this. You guys play and practice, and I will see you on the next lesson. The next grid lesson will be grid number 6, and it will be the last lesson. And then I don't know what I'm going to do. Probably just go back to doing regular patterns, I think. But I don't know. I have to explore the website. There might be more lessons in here that I just haven't seen yet. That's a possibility. I will peruse the Pattern Collections website. If you guys have any suggestions, if there's something I didn't cover in any of the Back to Basics lessons, or if there's something you wanted me to revisit, let me know in the comment section below. And I will take that into consideration when I'm planning. You guys have a great day, and I will see you on the next video. Bye-bye.